Welcome to the Divine Words channel. Today we will make a miracle prayer of Padre Pio and Anguish and adversities. Remember that prayer is an act of communion and surrender to God. Persevere in your faith, trust in God's goodness and love, and be open to follow His guidance, which will show you the right path to follow. But before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and leave your like, so that this prayer reaches everyone who is afflicted and seeking guidance. O merciful God, my refuge and fortress, I humbly come before you in this time of anguish and despair, seeking your help and comfort. I feel overwhelmed by the adversities I face and the pain I carry in my heart. In this moment of affliction, I cry out for your intervention and ask for the intercession of Padre Pio, a faithful servant and example of love and devotion. Padre Pio, who experienced in your earthly life the weight of anguish and pain, you understand the depth of my affliction. I ask you to approach God in my name, pleading for His mercy and consolation for my life. I ask you to raise my cries to the divine throne, so that my pleas may be heard and answered. In these moments of despair, in which it seems that all doors are closing and all hopes are fading, I ask you, Padre Pio, to help me find the necessary strength to move forward. Enlighten my path and grant me discernment to make the right decisions. May your wisdom and experience be a beacon in the darkness, guiding me out of the labyrinth of despair. I ask you, Padre Pio, to remove from my life all the anguish that consumes me, all the fear that paralyzes me and all the sadness that oppresses me. May your intercession bring to my soul a deep and true peace, a balm that heals all the emotional wounds I carry. It gives me the courage to face adversity with faith and hope, knowing that God is by my side at all times. Padre Pio, model of faith and devotion, I beg you to strengthen my faith. Help me to trust in the divine promises, even when everything seems to fall apart around me. It inspires me to persevere in prayer, knowing that God hears and responds to the cries of His people. May I find comfort in His word and in the spiritual practices that bring me closer to Him. In this moment of affliction, I ask you, Padre Pio, to embrace my soul with your love and compassion. May your presence be felt in every breath, in every tear and in every prayer I raise to God. Give me the assurance that I am not alone, that I have a powerful intercessor who walks with me on this journey. I thank you, Padre Pio, for your intercession and for the love you have dedicated to those who suffer. I trust that through your help and prayers I will find relief from my anguish and an end to my despair. Help me to keep my hope alive, even in the most difficult moments. May my faith be strengthened and may I witness God's transforming action in my life. Padre Pio, I beg you to continue to intercede for me with God, even beyond this prayer. Protect me, guide me, and help me overcome the obstacles that come my way. Grant me the grace to see beyond my present circumstances and to trust in divine providence. May your powerful intercession bring into my life the lasting joy and peace that can only be found in God. O Padre Pio, I ask you to help me find answers to my questions and clarity in the confusing situations I face. Give me discernment to make the right decisions, to choose the path that conforms to God's will. Padre Pio, you who have experienced suffering and trials in your life, understand the pains that plague my heart. I implore your intercession so that the Lord may grant me strength and courage to cross this valley of anguish and despair. I ask you, Padre Pio, to be with me at all times, to be my refuge and fortress in the hours of discouragement and weakness. Help me to find hope when all seems lost, to find light in the midst of darkness. You, who had an unshakable faith, teach me to trust fully in God, even in the most difficult moments. Padre Pio, example of love and compassion, I ask you to help me forgive those who have caused me pain and hurt. It gives me the ability to release resentments and cultivate peace in my heart. Help me to follow the example of Jesus, who forgave even those who crucified him. O Padre Pio, I place before you all my worries, anxieties, and sorrows. Grant me the grace to entrust everything into God's hands, trusting in His infinite wisdom and love. Help me to let go of control and surrender myself totally to the divine will. I thank you, Padre Pio, for listening to my prayer and interceding for me before God. I trust in your powerful intercession and know that through it I will receive the peace I so long for. May your presence be with me always, comforting me and guiding me on the path of salvation. O Padre Pio, I humbly place myself before you, recognizing my frailty and need for help. I ask you to intercede with God so that I will be strengthened in my faith, so that I can overcome all the difficulties that plague me. In this moment of anguish and despair, I beg your help so that I may find inner peace and serenity in the midst of the storms of life. May your reassuring presence be by my side, dispelling negative thoughts and filling me with renewed hope. I ask you, Padre Pio, to grant me the courage to face challenges with unshakable faith, knowing that God is always present, supporting me in His loving arms. Help me to trust in His will even when it seems contrary to my desires, for I know He has bigger and better plans for my life. Padre Pio, I beg you to remove from me all feelings of hopelessness and helplessness. Strengthen my hope, so that I can see the light even in the darkest moments. Grant me the grace to believe in the possibilities of renewal and transformation, trusting that God can work miracles in my life. May your intercession, O Padre Pio, be a source of consolation and relief for my afflicted heart. I pray that through your powerful intercession, I may be filled with the divine grace that brings comfort and restoration. Give me the perseverance to continue the journey, confident that with God by my side, I can overcome any adversity. I thank you, O Padre Pio, for hearing my prayers and interceding for me with God. I trust in your miraculous intercession to end my anguish and despair. May I witness the power of faith and hope in my life, and may these virtues illuminate my path toward lasting happiness and peace. O Padre Pio, faithful servant of God, I lay before you all my worries, afflictions, and despair. I ask you to take each of them in your hands and present them before the divine throne. Intercede for me, O Padre Pio, so that God, in His infinite goodness, may hear my pleas and grant me the peace I so long for. You, who have known physical and spiritual pain in your life, understand the agony that settles in my soul. I ask you that, through your intercession, I may be clothed with courage and fortitude to face the challenges that lie before me. Help me not to succumb to despair, but to find hope and trust in God, knowing that He is the source of all comfort and consolation. O Padre Pio, you who have been an example of humility and total surrender to God, Teach me to surrender all my worries and longings into His hands. May I trust fully in His providence, even when I do not understand His ways. May my faith be strengthened, and may I experience the peace that comes from trusting in God. I ask you, Padre Pio, to illuminate my path and guide me out of the darkness of anguish. Help me to see the light of hope, even in the most difficult moments. Grant me the grace to find comfort in God and to feel His constant presence in my life. Padre Pio, you who have been a channel of love and compassion, help me to cultivate forgiveness in my heart. Free me from the chains of hurt and resentment so that I can experience true inner peace. Give me the strength to forgive those who have hurt me, following the example of Jesus Christ, who forgave even His tormentors on the cross. I thank you, O Padre Pio, for your powerful and loving intercession. I trust in your intercession before God so that my anguish and despair will be dispelled. May the peace of God fill my heart, and may I witness the miracles of His love and mercy in my life. Padre Pio, you who have been an instrument of God's mercy, I beg you to touch my heart with divine love, dispelling all the sadness and hopelessness that consume me. Strengthen my faith so that I can trust fully in God's care and providence, even when the circumstances around me seem bleak. I ask you, Padre Pio, to enlighten my understanding and lead me on the path of truth. It helps me discern the solutions to my problems and make wise and sound decisions. May your divine wisdom permeate my thoughts and actions, guiding me towards good and turning me away from despair. O Padre Pio, model of patience and perseverance, inspire me not to give up in the face of difficulties. Give me the courage to face challenges head-on, knowing that God is with me every step of the way. Grant me the serenity to accept what I cannot change, the courage to change what I can, and the wisdom to distinguish between the two. Amen. Don't forget to leave your prayer requests and your amen in the comments, and share this video for someone who is in need of prayers.